evil housemaid. The people of Umoka village believed that every family had a story, some told with joy and laughter, others whispered in fear, and a few passed down as cautionary folktales around the evening fire. This is one of such stories, a tale that traveled from one homestead to another, told in low voices by grandmothers as children leaned close, their eyes wide with both wonder and dread. It all began with the wealthy Omenka family, known across the land for their large compound and generosity to neighbors. Chief Obina Omenka, a trader of palm oil and timber, was a man of respect. His wife, Madam Nkemdelem, was known for her kindness and wisdom. Together, they had 3 children, Kayameka, the eldest daughter who was bright and ambitious, Ifoni, a mischievous boy with a curious spirit, and little Adis, the youngest, whose laughter often filled the compound like the sound of bells. The Omenkas lived a life of abundance, but like many wealthy families, they required extra hands to maintain their household. Madam Nkemdelem was particular about house helps. She believed that anyone who entered her home should be treated like family, but she also feared the stories she had heard, maids who brought sour, strangers who carried hidden burdens. Still, she could not manage the growing responsibilities alone. It was during the peak of the rainy season that the Omenkas welcomed a new maid into their compound. Her name was Ngozi. Ngozi arrived one misty morning, led by an old woman named Mama Ijeoma, who claimed to be her distant aunt. The girl was slender, with skin the color of roasted groundnut and eyes that carried both humility and something harder to name, a flicker, almost like a shadow, that disappeared as quickly as it appeared. She was about 17, dressed in a faded wrapper and blouse that had seen better days. Her hair was neatly plaited, and she carried only a small bundle of clothes tied in a plastic bag. Chief and Madam, Mama Ijeoma began, bowing respectfully, "This is my sister's child. She is humble, obedient, and hardworking. She has suffered much, but she has a good heart. She will serve you well." Chief Obina studied the girl. "Ngozi, is this true? Do you want to work here?" Ngozi lowered her gaze. "Yes, sir. I will serve with all my strength." Her voice was soft, almost melodic, yet there was a weight behind it that neither Obina nor his wife could place. Madam Nkemdelem offered her a warm smile. "You are welcome, my dear. From today, this is your home. Treat it well, and it will treat you well." The children gathered around to see the newcomer. Kayameka observed quietly, her sharp eyes taking in the girl's every movement. Ifoni whispered to his sister, "She looks like she's hiding something." But Adis, too young to know caution, reached for Ngozi's hand with a giggle. Ngozi bent and stroked the little girl's hair gently. For a brief moment, her expression softened, but just as quickly, it faded into a blank stare. At first, Ngozi seemed the perfect maid. She rose before dawn, swept the compound, fetched water from the stream, and helped in the kitchen. Madam Nkemdelem praised her diligence. "This girl is a blessing," she often told her husband. But the villagers had their whispers. Old Mama Chinye, who sold vegetables by the roadside, once muttered under her breath when she saw Ngozi passing. Her shadow is not ordinary." Strange things soon began to unfold in the Omenka household. The first was subtle. Chief Obina's prized goat, heavy with milk, suddenly dried up. No explanation was found. Then, the fowls began disappearing one by one. At night, Ifoni complained of hearing footsteps outside his window, though when his father checked, the yard was empty. Kayameka noticed more. She once saw Ngozi staring into the fire long after the cooking was done, murmuring words she couldn't understand. Another time, she caught her in the storeroom, holding a small clay pot that did not belong to their household. When asked what she was doing, Ngozi simply smiled and said, "Cleaning, madam." But the most unsettling moment came one evening when little Adis fell sick. The child had been healthy all day, running and playing, but suddenly she clutched her stomach and cried in pain. Madam Nkemdelem rushed to her side. "What is it, my child?" Adi sobbed. Auntie Ngozi gave me sweet. It was bitter. The entire compound froze. Ngozi, who was standing by the doorway, lowered her eyes. I only gave her kola nut to taste. I did not know it would hurt her. Who gives kola nut to a child? Chief Obinna thundered. His wife prayed over the child until Adis fell asleep, her breathing shallow but steady. From that day, Kayamika's suspicion grew into certainty. Mother, she whispered one night as they lay on raffia mats, there is something strange about Ngozi. We must be careful. But Madam Nkemdelem, though uneasy, hesitated. She had always believed in giving people chances. Perhaps she is just ignorant, my daughter. Let us not judge too quickly. Yet the nights grew heavier, filled with unease. The air around Ngozi seemed to carry a chill, even when the sun blazed hot. The children avoided her, except little Adis, who seemed strangely drawn to her. Ngozi, for her part, worked tirelessly, but her eyes, those deep, unsettling eyes, often lingered on things too long. The elders of the village soon took notice. One evening, as Chief Obinna sat under the Udola tree with his friends, Elder Okafor spoke. Obinna, forgive me for speaking plainly, but you must watch the stranger in your home. Not all who come in peace mean peace. Chief Obinna sighed heavily. You too. Even my children whisper the same. But what proof do I have? She works hard. She shows respect. Elder Okafor shook his head. The snake does not hiss only when it is ready to strike. Sometimes it waits, silent, until the right moment. Those words lingered in Obinna's mind. One moonlit night, the truth began to unravel. Ifeanyi, unable to sleep, crept outside to chase fireflies. As he neared the storeroom, he heard soft singing. Peering through the bamboo slats, his eyes widened. Ngozi knelt before a small earthen pot, her hands raised. Inside the pot was something moving, something that writhed like a shadow giving life. She whispered words in a tongue he did not understand, her eyes glowing faintly in the moonlight. Terrified, Ifeanyi ran back inside, his heart pounding like the village drum. He shook his sister awake. Kayamika. I saw it. Ngozi is not ordinary. She was talking to something in a pot. Kayamika's face turned pale. She grabbed his hand. Tomorrow, we must tell Mother. We cannot keep this to ourselves. But little did they know, Ngozi had seen the boy's reflection in the firelight. She knew the children had discovered her secret. And from that moment, the Omenka household was no longer safe. To be continued.